All right, Shalom Israel. Shalom, Shalom. This is Brother Wahyala. This is my channel, Rise Up Israel. First and foremost, I'd like to give honor and glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father, and Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son, right? Which to whom, of whom is the nation of Israel, the Savior of the nation of Israel, Salakia, right? And as you can see by the title of the video, this is a video going into the wickedness of the so-called white man, right? As the title says, thou art greatly despised, right? Now this is this is through the lens of how other nations, including other Edomites, view the wickedness of Esau throughout the earth, right? Hence, thou art greatly despised, right? We get that from the chapter of Obadiah, right, where it talks about the wickedness of Esau, right, and how he's viewed among the through the lens of the other nations, right? Because usually you're used to hearing things about how, you know, the Israelites would hate Esau and how they, you know, how they would, you know, think of the so-called white man, but you don't look at it from everybody else's perspective, and that this isn't just a biased thing, right? This is something that the whole world feels, right? They just don't necessarily say it, right? So in each little series, in each little part of the series, I'm going to show a video of a Salakia, of someone of another nation speaking on the wickedness of the so-called white man, right? And I'm gonna send through add scriptures to it, you know what I'm saying, go into it a little bit, and we're going to see what we can get from it. Lord willing, it could be edifying, right? So let's start off with this video. I'm going to pause it right away if there's something I feel is need to pull a scripture on or to go into. All right, so let's get into it. All right, so
And imagine you go all around the world and smash up everything that other civilizations built, loot what they built, pillage, steal, even steal their ideas and their concepts and their philosophies. And then you sit on top of this mountain of stolen goods and declare yourself to be rich because of your own merit.
So look at this real quick, right? It says, what did he say first off, right?
World and smash up everything.
You go through the whole world and smash up everything, right? Who do we know was the main individual to do that? Who is the main person that is the corporate, or that is the person that is known to be the one to go throughout the entire earth, oppressing and taking and stealing things, right? That's the blessing that was given to the so-called white man, right? Let's grab it real quick in Genesis chapter 27 and verse 38, right? And it says this, Genesis 27:38, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, O my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Meaning you're going to get a lot of riches, right? Your dwelling is going to be the fatness of the earth. Salakia. Just going to grab it in another translation just to add to the value of the scripture, just so it's easier to understand. But it said, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above. Meaning Esau is going to live with great fatness. Meaning they're going to have beautiful land. Things are going to look good for them, right? Watch this. Finally, his father Isaac said, you will live away from the riches of the earth, Man, I don't like that one. That's not what it was going into. But it talks about pretty much you will pretty much um your dwelling is going to be in the fatness of the earth. I mean, you're going to dwell in the riches of the earth. Sometimes the NLT is wrong, but let's keep going. And by thy sword shalt thou live. Meaning the way you are going to get all this fatness of the earth is by the sword, right? And that's how you're going to live. And shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck, right? So a time would happen, a time would come where Esau, right, would take the yoke off of his neck that his brother had on him. If you understand when that was around a time of where the kingdom split, and there started to be a great rebellion against against of King Solomon, right? But let's keep going, and there's multiple accounts of that as well. Um, but we see that Esau would live with all the riches of the earth, but he would do it by stealing things, right? All right, let's go real quick to I'm gonna grab this in one of the Bible study books that we had that I wanted to pull up. Salakia, bear with me real quick. This is the James Fawcett and Brown commentary, and let's see what it says real quick, right? Matter of fact, let's jump to 39, right? 39 and 40, Genesis chapter 27, verse 39 and 40. And it says this: Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. What does that mean? The first part of the promise of temporal prosperity made in the same terms as Jacob's. So just like Jacob's going to live in the fatness of the earth, so is Esau, right? The second part refers to the roving life of hunting freebooters. The roving life of hunting freebooter. Let's real quick while we have the chance. Let's ask Salakia, bear with me. Bear with me. Salak. There we go. Let's ask ChatGPT, what is a freebooter? What is a freebooter? Let's ask ChatGPT what a freebooter is. Okay, real quick. A freebooter is a person who engages in plundering or looting, right? There's a whole nation that's going to be known for plundering and looting, often without official authority. Essentially a pirate or adventurer who profits by taking what they want, typically through force or opportunism, right? Historically, freebooters were mercenaries or pirates, especially in the 17th century, who operated in the Caribbean or other colonies. The term can also refer to someone who acts independently or without regard for rules and laws, taking advantage of situations for personal gain. Who has literally been the people known to be freebooters, right? Let's just ask. On a national level, what? And I'm kind of shooting in the dark. This might not hit because there's probably like other nations that probably still doing a lower level. Let's just so let's say throughout. All right, real quick. So the question is, on a global level, what people group will be known as freebooters throughout modern history? Last 600 years. So let's just see. Again, I could be shooting into the dark. We don't know. Okay, here we go. All right, real quick. These are what the freebooters, this is who your modern freebooters was, right? So that's within the last 600 years who would be considered the freebooters of the earth, right? Over the last 600 years, several people groups and nations have been known as freebooters, either directly through piracy, privateering, or colonial plundering, or more broadly by acting opportunistically and outside established laws or ethics to gain wealth and power. Below are notable examples: European privateers and pirates, English, French, Dutch privateers, Sir Francis Drake, Henry Morgan, buccaneers of the Caribbean, a mix of European adventurers. These were seafarers who operated with tacit or official state support to raid Spanish ships and colonies, though technically not always legal, right? They fit the freebooter archetype: opportunistic, self-serving, and often brutal, right? The Spanish conquest of the Americas involved widespread plundering of indigenous empires, Aztec, Inca, for gold, silver, and territory. These adventurers acted under royal charters, but often took excessive personal liberties and acted as rogue agents, right? The Dutch East India Company, right? British East India Company. Nations, the Netherlands and Britain. These are all European nations. Within the past 600 years, these corporations, backed by national governments, exploited and dominated trade routes, used military force, and effectively ruled over large parts of Asia, India, Indonesia. So not just the Americas, right? Their behavior often resembled freebooters, with corporate structure using war, manipulation, and economic coercion to enrich themselves. Filibusters, 1800s. Filibusters, once synonymous with freebooters, used for Americans who led private military expeditions to Latin America. Again, these are more. We can keep going. Spain, Britain, France, Portugal, and Belgium. This is damn near the five of the seven heads. Damn near. You see what I'm saying? Although framed as civilizing missions or exploration, many colonizers acted like freebooters, extracting wealth, enslaving people, and exploiting resources across Africa, Asia, and the Americas. So we understand that the freebooters of the earth are all Europeans. Are all Europeans. You see what I'm saying? They're all Europeans. That's one thing you definitely keep in mind, that these are all European people groups that are doing these things, right? Let's keep going. All right. Let's see. Freebooters, which he and his descendants should lead. Though Esau was not personally subject to his brother, his posterity were tributary to the Israelites till the reign of Joram, when they revolted and established a kingdom of their own. Right. So yeah, it happened multiple times, but started with I forgot my man's name, but he revolted under King Solomon and made himself an enemy. Right. So if I'm not mistaken. So again, we see that these hunting freebooters, this will be the blessing that Esau got, right? It will be blessing that Esau's blessing is to rule the earth by the sword, right? And to take things and live in fatness by stealing them, right? Let's get back to the video.
Civilizations built, loot what they built, pillage, steal, even steal their ideas and their concepts and their philosophies. And then you sit on top of this mountain of stolen goods and declare yourself to be rich because of your own merit. And imagine telling this lie to your children, to your own children, to your grandchildren, generation after generation.
What's going to happen in the last days when the truth comes out that they didn't really found America through damn, what do they call it? Through Thanksgiving and just having fun with the Indians and stuff like that. That's not how they got this land. They got this land through murder, rape, robbery, and murder, right? And there's scriptures that talk about these things, that the other nations, that these nations are going to look unto the Most High, or look unto the Israelites, and they're going to express their lack of understanding. Right? Let's keep going. This is Jeremiah 16 and verse 19 says this: O Lord, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of affliction, the Gentiles shall come unto thee from the ends of the earth, and shall say, surely our fathers have inherited lies, vanity, and things wherein there is no profit. So these nations, they're going to look and they're going to say, man, our fathers did inherit lies and things that aren't profitable, like the fact that Christopher Columbus discovered the Americas, or that the handing over of America was through peaceful contracts that were made, right? And peaceful covenants. No, it was from broken covenants. It was from deceit, wickedness, supplanting, lying, stealing. Let's keep going.
Children, to your grandchildren, generation after generation. How do you think that's going to go?
Look what they say before. What he said before.
And imagine telling this lie to your children, steal their ideas and their concepts and their philosophies, and then you sit on top of this mountain of stolen goods and declare yourself to be rich because of your own merit. And imagine telling this lie to your children.
So he said they became rich just by working hard, just by living the life, right? Who was known to be able to say who was known to say something like that in the scriptures, right? Let's see. Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 1, it says, come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldees, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. So this one's saying that the one that says that nothing has happened, or that she became this great nation by her own merit, like he says. The Most High is telling you, you will no longer be called tender and delicate, meaning you won't be called honorable or the standard of beauty, right? Let's keep reading. Take millstones and grind meal, uncover the locks, bare the leg, and uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers, meaning Esau is about to get exposed, right? Let's jump down. Let's start the verse 3. Let's stay on verse 3 real quick. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, the shame shall be seen. Thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance and will not meet thee as a man. As for our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel, right? Let's keep reading. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. You're not going to be called a lady anymore. Again, you're not going to be known for your own righteousness or your own merit, right? Verse 6, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thy hand. Thou didst shew them no mercy. Upon the ancient thou hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. And that's what he goes into talking about. He goes into talking about how they didn't have any mercy on the children of Israel.
And imagine telling this lie to your children, to your own children, to your grandchildren, generation after generation. How do you think that's going to go? You didn't invest in creating actual merit. You cheated, you lied, you what they built, pillage, steal, even steal their ideas and their concepts and their philosophies. And then you sit on top of this mountain of stolen goods and declare yourself to be rich because of your own merit. And imagine.
Declared themselves to be rich based off of their own merit, meaning based off of what? The quality of being particularly good or worthy, especially so as to deserve praise or reward. Meaning they've done this. They've done this thinking that it's because of they're just good. They're just good people, when really they've stolen everything. Let's keep reading. Verse 7. Then thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst thou remember the latter end of it, right? They did not remember the latter end. That's what Babylon would say. Babylon would say, I will reign forever. Look what it says in the NLT. NLT chapter 47, Isaiah 47 and 7, it says, you said, I will reign forever as queen of the world. You did not reflect on your actions or think about their consequences, right? Esau did not think about the consequences. Esau did not think about their actions, right? What does it say, verse 8? Listen to this, you pleasure-loving kingdom. Living at ease and feeling secure, you say, I am the only one and there is no other. I will never be a widow or lose my children, right? Now this is the judgment for him. Well, both these things will come upon you in a moment. Widowhood and the loss of your children. Yes, these calamities will come upon you despite all your witchcraft and magic. You see what I'm saying? So, although they have witchcraft and magic, it's not going to work, right? Let's keep reading. Verse 10. You felt secure in your wickedness. No one sees me, you said. Meaning no one sees what I'm doing. No one sees that it's not by my own merit that I've acquired all of these things, but it's through rape, robbery, and murder, right? No one sees that. But your wisdom and knowledge have led you astray, and you said, I am the only one and there is no other, right? Let's keep going.
This lie to your children, to your own children, to your grandchildren, generation after generation. How do you think that's going to go? You didn't invest in creating actual merit. You cheated, you lied, you stole, you brutalized, and then you tell your own people that everyone else in the world has nothing and you have everything because of how much better you are than everyone else. How long is that lie sustainable?
You see? She stands and says that I am and there is no other. That prideful look, that prideful thought that the scriptures talk about in the book of Daniel. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't even have to go to that, but it says her look was more stout than her fellows. All right, let's just get back to the video.
I mean, these are people who actually have civilizations, who actually created and built and accomplished and didn't just pillage and plunder.
Yeah.
And there's still those people today, even though you have oppressed them, there's still those same people.
Who's he talking
And you're
about?
still the way you are. I mean, and didn't just pillage and plunder. And there's still those people today, even though you have oppressed them, there's still those same people.
Exactly. So although, and he's talking about the Israelites, he's saying that although the Israelites are in this place or in this captivity, being oppressed, they actually have a heritage. They actually have an heritage. They actually have a history, a life, a civilization. Esau didn't. Esau they're known for taking things without asking. That's their heritage. Taking things, right? Real quick, let's go to. I didn't mean to go there. Salaki, let me. Bear with me. Bear with me. Let's see what it says real quick about Cain. Watch this. I'm curious what it may see, but this is Genesis 4 and 11 and 12 on the curses of Cain, right? It says, "Now thou art cursed from the earth." A curse superadded to the general one denounced on the ground for Adam's sin. Okay, a fugitive, condemned to perpetual exile, a degraded caste, the miserable victim of an accusing conscience. See, I ain't like that one too much. I did not like that one. Let's see what Matthew Henry's commentary may be. Salakia, bear with me, man. Genesis chapter 4. I don't even know if they even have it, man. Malice in the heart of ends murder by the hands of Cain's loose brother. Okay. Cain, he denies the crime. Moving forward. Okay, Cain was cursed from the earth. He found his punishment there where he chose his portion and set his evil is to touch. Who else we got? Makes comfort. Singing a curse. The wickedness of the wicked. Okay, bear with me. See, I'm looking. Okay, murder is a crying sin. Blood calls for murder. Okay. Christ, saved from it. Okay, Cain was cursed from the earth. Okay, so that's pretty much it with that. It didn't really speak too much on that, but we see that Esau was not known of anything special, right? And that's pretty much Esau's judgment. Let's keep going. This is Job chapter 30:1 that says, "But now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Yea, whitherto might the strength of their hands profit me, in whom old age was perished? For want and famine they were solitary, fleeing into the wilderness, in former time desolate and waste." So they would flee into the wilderness, and in the former times they'd be a desolate waste, as the Most High said He will always do to Edom. Right? Let's keep reading. They were driven forth from among who cut up mallows by the bushes and juniper roots for their meat. They were driven forth from among men. They cried after them as after a thief, to dwell in the clefts of the rocks, and the caves of the earth, and in the rocks. Right? So we understand that Esau, they weren't even nowhere near anybody. They had no heritage. Right? They literally have no heritage. Let's keep going.
And you're still the way you are. I mean,
Exactly.
a good example actually is
And here's the thing, right? He said that Esau, they've changed their identity multiple times, right? But Jacob has stayed the same. Like, Jacob has kept the same heritage. So, so-called African-American men, women, and children, so-called Hispanics, you see what I'm saying? So-called, men of the transatlantic slave trade and native indigenous people of the Americas, they've had their heritage. They've always had it. Esau came and took it, and he made it his own, right? He took it and he made it his own. Let's keep going, actually. We don't got to go too much further.
Americans. I don't know if you can think of a people who were more held back, more deprived, more sabotaged than African Americans. You took everything away from them and took them away from everything.
He said, you can't find the people. You cannot find the people who was more sabotaged, more hurt than the children of Israel, right? This is 1 Maccabees 2:10 that says, "What nation had not had part in her kingdom and have gotten of her spoils?" Right? Meaning every nation has benefited from Jacob. Right? Real quick, another one. Isaiah 42 and verse 22. And it says this. This is Isaiah 42 and 22. It says, "But his own people have been robbed and plundered, enslaved, imprisoned, and trapped. They are fair game for anyone and have no one to protect them, no one to take them back home." Verse 23. "Who will hear these lessons from the past and see the ruin that awaits you in the future?" Right? So we see that the children of Israel, that's what they will go through. Right? So his own people have been robbed and plundered and enslaved. Right? Let's keep going.
They started in your country at less than zero, literally regarded and treated as subhuman. not allowed to learn to read or write or anything for hundreds of years. But you see, they come from a people of accomplishment to one degree or another.
That's right.
Not a people of piracy and theft and appropriation. They come from a people who created and built and developed in their own countries, in their own land. And
That's
even
right.
though you did everything that you could possibly do to suppress them, to hold them.
So, and again, he may not know who the Israelites are. He may not know what the Israelites, but through a spiritual lens, that's us. We have the rich heritage. You see what I'm saying? We have the beautiful. We have the prophecies. We have everything. We have all the blessings, right? Matter of fact, let's grab the the one that everyone knows. Romans chapter 9 and verse 3, and it says, "For I could wish that myself were accursed for Christ, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh." This is Paul's flesh, right? Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory. So they pertain the adoption. This is their heritage, right? The adoption, being brought back into the fold, and the glory, right? The glory, the vessel of righteousness fitted for glory, the blessings, right? The covenants, old and new covenant, the new covenant with the immortal body and the incorruptible flesh, and the giving of the law, what Moses gave the children of Israel, right? And the service of God, like the angels of the Lord, the prophets, and the promises, right? The blessings that will be on the children of Israel, right? So we see that this is the heritage of the Israelites, right? Let's keep going.
Down to hold them back, and you're still doing that until today. Nevertheless, I don't think anyone can dispute the fact that nevertheless, I don't to hold them down, to hold them back, and you're still doing that until today. Never created and built and developed
That's
in
right.
their own countries, in their own land. And even though you did everything that you could possibly do to suppress them, to hold them down, to hold them back, and you're still doing that until today, nevertheless, I don't think anyone can dispute the fact that African Americans have become a global cultural superpower.
And we've seen this before. We've seen this before in the scriptures. We've seen this. They've tried to oppress and suppress the children of Israel, but it didn't work, right? Now, let's go to Exodus 1 and 9. It says, "And he said unto his people," this talking about the king of Egypt, "Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. Come, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them out of the land." Right? Therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasured cities, Pithom and Ramesses. But the more they afflicted them, the more they hurt so-called black and Hispanic people, the more they multiplied and grew. So we don't die, we multiply. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel, right? So understand that this is the same Egypt, the same circumstances, the same bondage, right? It's just in a different land, right? Let's keep going, actually. Matter of fact, yeah, let's just keep going.
And people like this, with a history like this, with a legacy like this, simply cannot be held back for any length of time by a people who do not have a similar history, people who have never actually invested in their own civilizational development. And that's the West. Can you imagine?
And that was it, and I could have went more, but I wanted to make these videos short, just and I never actually pulled the verse from which this is all about, right? Thou art greatly despised, right? So this is but yeah, as I was saying, I could have went further into it, but for the sake of the video, I didn't want to make it too long. But Lord willing, let's edify video through the Spirit. Again, thou art greatly despised. Actually, let me grab this real quick. Obadiah 1:1, it says, the vision of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord God concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor from the Lord, and an ambassador is sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. So those words of that white man were words of despising his own people, right? And as the Israelites, we should look at that as a sign like, oh, wow, we're getting to the end of times, because Esau is becoming, just like it's becoming evident that we're the children of God, it's becoming evident that they are the children of Satan, right? And the man of perdition is being revealed, right? So Lord willing, identifying video through spirit. First and foremost, I'd like to give honor and glory to the Most High God Yahweh, by Shem HaShem, Like El Shai, Kwam Yashua, Shalom.